everyone. Welcome back to Flying Solo with Kat. It's been a bit. It's been a bit. It's been a couple months. A lot has happened in these last couple months. Some of them I can share with you, some of them I cannot, unfortunately. It's like, where do I even start this video of being back? Are we keeping up with the podcast? What is happening with the podcast? What is happening with Star Wars? Oh my God, so many things are happening with Star Wars. Which of course I'm going to talk about today. I didn't really write a script for today because there are so many different videos that I want to do that I don't know what should get its own section. So I kind of want to go through and talk about some of my thoughts on Star Wars Celebration, the new comics that just came out for the Rise of Skywalker comic adaptation, as well as the Legacy of Vader comics. I will not be going into those comics specifically, but I will go into my fandom experience with those comics being released, as well as if I'm going to be making future videos on those comics. I want to talk about Andor a little bit, and Andor is going to be an interesting one. I think I mentioned my thoughts on watching season 2 in a couple of videos ago, but I'm going to reiterate that here, as well as guys, I am starting a new channel. It is going to be all about D&D, so if you're interested for that, stay till the end, and I will be talking about my new D&D campaign with my friends, Dungeons and Disappointments. Go check us out on YouTube and Twitter. And yeah, so there's a lot we got to talk about today. As well as Star Wars Night at Disney and my cosplay as K-Vess. Again, a lot of things that we need to talk about. That am I going to make separate videos for these? Am I not? We're going to see what happens. First, let's talk about Star Wars Celebration. Oh boy, there is so much that happened at Star Wars Celebration, so much that got announced. The new movie coming out with Ryan Gosling in Star Wars, in my Star Wars, give it to me. Give it to me right now. I am obsessed already. We've been wanting a pilot movie for a while. This movie is supposed to take place after The Rise of Skywalker, which I am interested. Sign me up. I am wondering if it's going to lead into anything that has to do with the Rey movie. I will not be angry if it does not. I would like it to be its own standalone thing. And I think it could be really, really fun depending on what kind of happens. I think it's going to be a fun movie. It's directed by it's not James Mangold. That is who did Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Sean Levy. There it is. Sean Levy, who did Deadpool and Wolverine. I absolutely love that movie, and I personally like Sean Levy's direction take, quite honestly. I think it works for a lot of different mediums. So I'm excited for him to take on that film and to have a film with Star Wars. We got a lot of talk about Andor. Of course, Tales of the Underworld got released. I have not watched the show yet. I definitely want to tune into it. I really did like Asajj Ventress. She's not my top, dark side, light side characters, or just characters in general from the Clone Wars, but I do know that she means a lot to a lot of people. So I'm quite interested to see what that show brings. I am a big Cad Bane fan, so that's kind of where that's more what I find interesting with that series. I have loved the Tales of series that they've done. Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, yes, and then Tales of the Underworld. My favorite between Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire is hard because I loved Morgan Elizabeth. Morgan Elizabeth is one of my top characters. In the entire Star Wars saga, I guess. So having her be the main focus gave me life. That was everything to me. I have Morgan Elizabeth figures, cards. Like, she is one of my favorites, and that's why I love seeing her in the Ahsoka show, and of course seeing her end in the Ahsoka show, which was disappointing. But her death was great. Yeah, I wasn't disappointed with how they did it. It was just like, I wanted to see more of her. So having her come back into animation and having the same actor as well, actress, voicing her was beautiful and continued her story well. Tales of the Jedi for Dooku was absolutely amazing, especially with Yaddle as well coming back in. Just beautifully animated, as well as seeing Dooku's fall into Palpatine's hands. So with Tales of the Underworld, to be honest, I haven't really heard much from it with the talks of the fandom. It released at a really odd time to where Andor was like coming out the next week, as well as it was either coming out the next week or it was Andor was currently being viewed while Tales of the Underworld came out. So it really did kind of get shoved under the rug to make space for Andor. So I do think it was just a poor time to release it. I think now after Andor is done and completed would be the perfect time to release Tales of the Underworld. That way Star Wars fans have a little bit of something to tide them over for the summer, but whatever. I don't work at Lucasfilm. That was great. We are getting a Darth Maul animated series. I am not a hater on this. I saw a lot of people hating on this on Twitter. I love Darth Maul. I don't think I've ever met someone that doesn't like Darth Maul. I think he's great in animation. Everything that Dave has brought to the character, as well as Sam Witwer, and what he's done for not only the Star Wars world, but for Darth Maul as a character. Spider Maul is one of my favorite character designs that have ever been created. And I want to see more. I think Maul in animation, again, just you have so much potential for him, especially when you're bringing in the Night Sisters. Is really, really interesting. So I'm super excited for that show. I really want them to move away from the prequels. Y'all know me. I'm not the biggest fan of the prequels. I think they're okay at best. I think people hype them up way too much. I think clones as a concept is really freaking good. And that is not overhyped in any of the sense. I think what Star Wars has done with clones and showing that story and why so many people love Clone Wars, totally valid. But I'm to the point where it's like you have the same people that are like, oh, the prequels are absolute gold, and then they're like, no, the sequels are literal trash. And it's like, okay, you can have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? Yes, the sequels are...
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
Eat it too. You know what I mean? Yes, the sequels are not great. The prequels are not great, but I find enjoyment in them, right? So it's like, why am I being bashed for like enjoying something that's not that bad or not too far off from like how bad the prequels are? And that's probably gonna give me a lot of hate comments, but what are you gonna do? Whatever. So I want them to make something with the sequels, man. You can't ignore 3 movies from your franchise. And not even that. I mean, they had Resistance, the TV show. That one didn't hit as well. My favorite scenes from that show, I need to do a full talk about that. But my favorite scenes from that show is how they handled the First Order and how they kind of handled its occupation of space and everything, and why the Republic wasn't doing anything, and especially the scenes with Hux and Phasma and Kylo, I think were done really well as with Pyre, who's one of like the commanding stormtroopers, and it handled a lot of things really, really well with the First Order, which I personally appreciate. You guys know me. With the Resistance, I think it was okay. I think it wasn't... There was a lot that they could have improved or done differently, but it wasn't a bad show. So I want them to do a Clone Wars type thing that either takes place after Return of the Jedi, leading into the Battle of Jakku. I know we have comics there, but people don't read. And we have books as well. Again, people do not read. Or we do something in between Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. That's where timeline gets a little weird, because Force Awakens and Last Jedi, we're supposed to believe that it happened like that. Those two movies are consecutive in the timeline. With Rise of Sky or Last Jedi with Rise of Skywalker, that was about a year. Which, why? I like to think that Force Awakens and Last Jedi took place at least months apart, if I can have a little bit of time, just because it doesn't make any sense of where characters are, specifically for Hux mainly. And again, a whole separate thing that I need to talk about in my Last Jedi video. I need to talk about the sequels. I've talked about Force Awakens on this channel. Not much has changed from that original video. I kind of just talked about it as much as I could, just because I love that movie. But Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker do need a little bit more time to sit down and really break down the amazing things about it and the not so amazing things about it. So yeah, I am very excited for what they announced at Star Wars Celebration. Unfortunately, I was not able to go because it was in the amazing Japan. I wish I could have gone. It just was not feasible for me. But guess what? It's going to be in LA. It's going to be in my hometown come 2027. And guys, I'm already saving up money for it. I am hyped. I'm excited. It also means I could save on hotel, because I probably won't even stay down there because, I live here. So, which is great. So that saves me a lot of money. Do I wish it was in Anaheim, which again is a little bit closer to me? Yes, I do. Mainly because Disney is right there, so I could have done like a double day. And it was great too, because a lot of the actors would then go to Disneyland after Celebration. It was sick. It was awesome. With LA, I mean, it's a little bit out of the way of Disneyland, but I am very, very excited. A lot of good things are coming for Star Wars. Let's talk about Andor. Let's do that really quickly. Many people in real life and online have asked me if I have watched Andor. Have you seen Andor? Andor's so good. Watch it. Do it. I watched Andor season 1, and I really liked it. It is such an important TV show to develop, to have in this world of Star Wars, and with our current political climate, it is so important to have that accessible. I love having Andor, a very, I don't like saying the word sophisticated, but it's what fits best, sophisticated TV show next to something like Ahsoka. And both of those can coexist. And yeah, I'm going to say it, one's not better than the other. Personally, I enjoy Ahsoka more. I like my franchise and I like my Star Wars to be fun, to be really exciting. Not in the sense of, oh, I don't have to think as much. It's more of, I'm really invested in these characters and I want them to have fun. I want to, have a good time watching something, and enjoy it. Now, Andor's a hard one for that. It is very, again, dark is not the right word. It's not dark. It is just very real, and very heavy on political themes, which is great for those types of people that like to watch that. For me, Star Wars is my escape. It's a little too real for me to sit down and force myself to watch. It just end up making me really depressed, which is not what a media that you enjoy should do. Now, for you, right? I'm not saying, oh no, Andor is way too political. No one should be watching it. Why is Lucasfilm creating this? It's stupid. No, please, go watch Andor. It is so good. I've heard it's so good for season 2. And go enjoy it. If you like that stuff and you like political thrillers and you like all of that, go do that, please. I just ask you not to judge people that are like, hey, like, it's just a little too real. I'm just gonna sit this one out. It's okay. I don't have to watch every single piece of Star Wars. And if I ever feel like I want to take a look at it, or watch it, or watch certain episodes and skip others, I could do that, dude. I could do whatever the hell I want. Um, it's just more of like, don't judge people for not watching it. There's a lot of different reasons of why certain people are not watching certain things. So I just ask you guys to be kind. And that's my reasoning. There's not really much more I could say on that, but I think it's a great show. I think if you are able to watch it, please, please, please watch it, because quite honestly, it's rare that shows are being made like this now, especially. And I don't know if we'll ever get a TV show like this again. Depending on if it's Star Wars or not. Tony Gilroy is an absolute masterclass at writing, as well as directing. So please go enjoy it. But also, please don't bash like other properties of Star Wars for not being at the Tony Gilroy level, right? That's why I don't really like using the word pretentious, because it's kind of like, me and my friend have had debates on this as well. It's like, I said that Marvel movies have changed the climate for movies and definitely impacted the industry. And, in a positive and probably a negative way. And my friend was like, they're not important. Those movies don't mean anything. And I think that's such a detrimental statement to movies and to, for one, things that we consume, as well as,
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
for one, things that we consume, as well as just creativity, and diversity of creativity in general, that you can have Mandalorian Season 3 coexist with Andor Season 2. And you think one is better than the other, that is great. Personally, I would think that Andor Season 2 would be better than Mando Season 3. Which one did I enjoy more? And I think when I take a look at franchise, when I take a look at media, when I take a look at TVs, movies, video games, comics, books, if you tell me, oh, this one's the best, if you don't read this, then you're not a true fan. If you don't like it, then you can't handle true media. Well, that's complete bullshit. It is. I'm sorry. It really is. Each person's enjoyment is so different than everyone else's. And that's always how it's been. So why are we judging other people or making ourselves feel better or good about ourselves by bringing down somebody else? Like, we don't do that here. Come on. And that's also the Star Wars fandom in a nutshell. So, I signed up for this, but still. So those are my thoughts on Andor. If you've watched it, congratulations. I love that for you. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Legitimately, I do hope you loved it. It's been doing great numbers, and it got nominated for a couple of Emmys, maybe? I know it got nominated for something, so, which is great. I love, especially Diego Luna. What a man. What a man. And that does segue into, I got to spend May the 4th at Disneyland, which was absolutely amazing. And then it wasn't. I was super, super sick. I actually called off of work the day before because I literally could not move, which was not good. I wanted to go so bad. And I was like, literally, if I can't even walk or breathe, I don't care. Like, I'm going there. And I was struggling. It was definitely a big, big, big struggle. I had a great time. Unfortunately, I did have to leave early just because I could not handle it. Again, like when I say I was sick, it was like headache, almost migraine territory, just constantly, like, I guess fatigued might be the right word. I looked amazing, absolutely stunning. And of course, you could find all of those images on my Twitter because I did post them. As well as the voice actress for K-Vess commented on my photos and liked my photos from there. So that was amazing. K-Vess is such a special character. If you don't know, who's from Outlaws, the open world video game. And I had so much fun cosplaying as her. Actually, it's one of my favorite cosplays. I've done Kylo, I've done Hux, and then now I've done K-Vess. K-Vess was probably my most comfortable cosplay that I've ever done. Hux was a disaster last year in the best ways possible because I looked stunning. It just was so much. And I feel for first order officers because there's no way I'd be able to wear that 24/7. No way. But the gray coat was great. As well as the Kylo cosplay I wore to Celebration back in 2022. It was something I got offline. It was okay. Definitely, if I can still fit in my Hux cosplay from last year, I will be wearing that to Star Wars Celebration in 2027. Yes. Again, I gotta get back in the gym and work out a little bit, but that's okay. Overall, it was great. The food was great. I probably will be posting a separate video talking about my experience. There's a couple things that I wasn't the biggest fan of, as well as there wasn't much communication. Diego Luna was there, was in the park. I did not get to see him. I was on Star Tours actually seeing Diego Luna, Cassian Andor. He was the hologram that showed up for us. We get out of that ride, and I see posted on Twitter 10 minutes ago that Diego Luna was at the front of the castle doing his big speech. They had a production show on the castle with Andor. That's just me. I have been in the vicinity of so many Star Wars actors and have never actually seen them in person, if that makes sense. Star Wars Celebration, I was constantly in the building with multiple Mandalorian actors, plus Pedro Pascal, multiple Attack of the Clones actors, Ashley Eggstein, Hayden Christensen, God, there's so many. I can't even name them. I was at Disneyland the day after Adam Driver was there. I don't know if he's still there or not. I was there the day before Daisy Ridley. I was at the Universal Warner Brothers lot the day after Donald Gleason was there filming for the paper. I think it's just John Boyega. Yeah, because Oscar Isaac, I believe, was also at Disney. I think it was the day after? Yeah, it might have been the day after that I was there. I have not been in the vicinity of John Boyega. That is still on my bucket list. But now I can add Diego Luna to that amazing list. So yeah, I'm very unlucky when it comes to being in the vicinity of actors and actually being in the same room. I'm in the same quote unquote building. I'm just never actually seeing them with my own eyes. I always hear it from someone else, which is, that's the story of my life. So anyway, overall, it was a great time. And yeah, I was super sick and super tired. It was mainly standing in lines. Again, I will talk about it more in a separate video, but I did get a first order probe droid who is now my child, and he is my son, and I will protect him with my life. Let's see, anything else before I get into D&D stuff, which is really, really exciting, kind of what I want to talk about, and that's going to kind of be our final update for the channel. I think that's it. Yeah, I really don't think I have... Oh, comics. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, comics. So Rise of Skywalker comics, I just, actually today, like 15 minutes ago, earlier today, I picked up issue 4 of the Rise of Skywalker. This comic is interesting. A couple people like it. A couple other people are just like, it looks stupid. Of course, everyone has to bitch and complain about the art of it. quite honestly, dude, I don't care, man. I really don't. I like when the art is good, but I'm so used to the art being okay, at best. It's not the biggest ick for me. It really isn't. I'm happy we're getting these stories, officially by Lucasfilm. Um, and again, comic stuff doesn't happen overnight, or it's not run by like one artist with a certain style. It is there's a process to it, and I really can't go into explaining why, as well as like there's a lot of moving parts. You have the inker, you have the color, you have the um it's not the worder, but we all know what I'm talking about. So there's a process to it. So it's not gonna.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
So there's a process to it. So it's not gonna look like a fan made comic, and that's okay. For me, it's more about the dialogue than the visuals, if anything. But the fact that we're getting these comics made is enough for me. So I don't know. It does kind of piss me off that people are just constantly bitching and complaining about the art. It's like, dude, it's not gonna change. Um, and it is different than other comics, but also if you look at the other Star Wars comics, this is how they've always been. It's not just for this comic specifically. So, it's like how people draw Adam Driver, um, especially, is kind of like, it is a hard face. I do like how they draw Daisy Ridley. Also, everyone else is fine. It's really just Adam that they seem to struggle with. But you know what? Same. When I'm trying to do art of him, it is not an easy face to draw. So I don't know if that's always the struggle, but I will talk about all the issues of the Rise of Skywalker together when I get them all. Because there is some added scenes that they added in there, which is great. I love that. That's everything for me. But I don't really feel like I need to be doing separate videos for that, just because it's way easier and why. Yeah, there's changes, but it's not enough for me to like do each separate video for each separate comic iteration. Legacy of Vader. Oh man. I've seen the fandom talk about this. I've also seen the fandom not talk about this. This comic, I don't know where it's going. It's kind of a mess. It's also not. It also feels like it doesn't really know what to do with Hux, as well as we're getting. I don't want to be like that person where actually they're characterizing him the wrong way. They're not, but it's teetering on that to where it's like, dude, what are you doing? I've been writing. I've been writing for Hux for 5 years. That sounds very pretentious. Fandom wise, I've been studying this character for 5 years. Not that I have any say on what they do with the characters at Lucasfilm or what they have planned for him. I'm not above that. I'm just saying that it is interesting how they utilize Hux, as well as what they're trying to do with this character. We have to remember that he feels so bad about Kylo Ren. Kylo has to do something to him, if they want to, in this comic, to really show why he ended up betraying the order that he knew and loved for the Resistance. I want to see that in this comic, mainly because Hux has kind of been our second main character besides Kylo. He's been very present in Kylo's general vicinity, and if you want to, say that ship stuff, then do it, because I'm with you. But if, as well as just from a canon character standpoint, it's very interesting to put him in these situations with Kylo. And then to have the Rise of Skywalker kind of say, oh no, actually, he was like going to backstab him the entire time. Now, if you know me or know any of my videos, I like that choice. I like Hux being the spy. That I will die on that hill. I think it made him not just another Tarkin. It made him a more fledged character, and I will thank J.J. Abrams for that. Yes, you could throw tomatoes at the screen. I don't freaking care. It's, for me, it made him a character other than, oh, evil guy, go burr. Like, no. He is a layered, complex character that did a terrible, terrible thing, and because he's so freaking petty, he betrayed what he thought that he was raised to lead, in a sense. And we're seeing a little bit more of that with the Shadow Council coming in with Mando, as well as the First Order coming out of the unknown regions. We saw that in the Phasma book. Amazing book. Please go read it. And just his character, there's so much layers to it. And I do wonder how much the writers can really write to that. And again, how much they're saving for the TV show. Totally, that's so gonna happen. I don't know if it is. I think they should do it. I don't know if Gleason would ever come back to do that. But hey, I've been manifesting it for 5 years, so I could do another 5 more. So I will do a separate video talking about those comics as well, because there's so much to unpack for that. I'm not going to get into it in this video. There's just too much. I think that was it on the comic standpoint. All right, let's talk about D&D, why you all are definitely here. This past couple months, I have gone down the rabbit hole of Dungeons and Dragons, but specifically Critical Role. If you are not familiar with Critical Role or Dungeons and Dragons, Critical Role is basically a group of voice actors get together and play some Dungeons and Dragons, which is basically role-playing with combat. If you played Star Wars Legion, it is tabletop. It is a tabletop game. There's just a lot more roleplay involved compared to Legion. I don't believe Legion really has much roleplay. I've only played a little bit of Legion, so I really wouldn't know how to talk on that point. But it is different. I absolutely fell in love with the Legends of Vox Machina. That is a TV animated series on Amazon Prime. Highly, highly, highly would recommend watching it. Basically, the show is a reflection of Critical Role's Campaign 1, which was over, I think, was it 5 years? 5 years? That's definitely wrong. I don't think it's 5 years. I think it's maybe a little bit less, like maybe 4 or something. But they took what they actually did live in their campaign and turned it into an animated show, which they are going to be doing with their campaign 2, The Mighty Nine, which I have been currently watching, and it is great. If you are into spontaneous roleplay as well as a fun combat mechanic, highly, highly, highly would recommend watching Critical Role or watching just D&D. Just searching up D&D and kind of seeing what's it all about. It was in my radar with Baldur's Gate 3, which is a video game, basically a D&D video game. My great dear friends bought it for me for my birthday, and I probably got about 80 hours on it, which is pretty good. I'm only in part 2, I guess, of the game. It's a long damn game, so I have not finished it, mainly because I haven't had time. But they kept saying, Kat, we really want to get you into D&D. We want to do a session with you. We would love to do that. And again, this is something new for me. My anxiety levels were already high enough. What if I mess up? I don't even know how to do a character sheet. I have to create an original character, which is not something I'm used to. I normally take Star Wars characters and write my own things on them. So now I was having to do a whole completely new character that had no ties to any franchise, and write for them, which is totally out of my comfort zone. And I fell in love. I absolutely fell in love with the game. I've always loved sci-fi. I've always loved Star Wars, and I guess Marvel.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
I've always loved Star Wars, and I guess Marvel would kind of be under horror sci-fi? You could argue that. You could argue it's fantasy sci-fi. But Marvel and Star Wars has always been there. But sci-fi has always really interested me, especially with Star Trek as well. I grew up on Star Trek. So for D&D is based upon medieval fantasy is the best way I can put that. So fantasy, I'm not the biggest fan. It's not on my radar. It's okay. You know what I mean? But with Vox Machina, the Legend of Vox Machina is set in a fantasy setting, and I realized that, whoa, there's so much you could do with a fantasy setting. It's not just fairies and goblins and whatnot. It's so much more, and there's such a bigger world that I was not aware of. So it completely blew me out of the water, and I was shocked. I became obsessed, which is mainly why I haven't been posting as much. I've been really on this D&D kick, so I haven't really had much time to sit down and watch some Star Wars. Now, that does not mean I'm over Star Wars. Absolutely not. Y'all know me. It's always going to be a part of my life, no matter how much I don't want it to. It will always be there. I still love talking about it with people. I still love the movies and TV shows that they're making. But I've found a real good appreciation for D&D, especially with my art, and for my career with art and what I want to do for the rest of my life is character design and background design. This is perfect for me, and this, in the sense, is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Not D&D. I mean, that would be great. I'm not complaining, but I'm not that good yet. But character design and coming out with these stories for characters and doing all of that. And Dungeons and Dragons is a great gateway for that. So where does that lead me with the new channel? So me and my friends that I've known for 5 or so years decided to, hey, let's start a D&D campaign. The amazing people that bought me Baldur's Gate 3, he runs an IRL session, and he DMs for that Dungeon Master, who basically kind of controls the game. And he said, hey, I want to do something with you guys. Let's get together and see what's up. So we had our first session Sunday, and I'll probably be posting this around probably Thursday. And it went amazing. There are so many things that I still need to learn and still need to jot down and type down and everything, but it's really the role play aspect for me that I find really exciting, as well as I love getting into the mindset of being a character. It's an added layer upon writing a character and writing a character's backstory than actually being that character and interacting with that world around you is just so special, and something that you really don't understand until you start doing it. And yeah, so Dungeons and Disappointments right now is our YouTube channel. I will hopefully be posting in the next couple of days kind of an introduction video of what we do at Dungeons and Disappointments. But I would love it all if you guys can go over there and give it a follow. Just support us for right now. We're still kind of figuring out a lot of things. I am currently recording off of Discord for those sessions because that's the best way I could do that. And unfortunately, there's a couple things I gotta work out with Discord and do all of that. So it might be a little scuffed the first couple of episodes, as was this podcast. But we're almost like 2 years into the podcast. Could you believe that? Like, can you actually believe that? So anyway, I want to thank you all so much for your support. I know, again, I really have not been posting, but I promise it's for good reason. I got a lot of fun things coming that hopefully I could share with you guys. And again, I have to do the comic videos. I have to do the Star Wars Night videos because I want to make sure you guys are informed as well. But there's a lot of fun things that are coming your guys' way. So thank you all for listening. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. And I will see you in the next one.
This audio was created with podcastle.ai.